Hello, peoples of the internet. Today I am in my car and I am sitting at the lake. I might be able to actually just turn it around for a moment so you can see. This is my view. And I'm just soaking in those frequencies, those water frequencies, and I have a hot minute, so I thought I would come on and share some information. You can see my necklaces are all pretty wound up as usual. So today I thought I would share some information about the sacred feminine way of grounding ourselves. And this was a piece of information that came in maybe 2 years ago. You could consider this information pretty racy as well. This might be hard for some people to receive, and that's okay. Everybody, is on their own pathway at their own times, doing things their own ways. And I'm not over here to tell you how to do it your way. I'm over here to share my information, and if it's right for you, or it fits for you, or you try it and it's a good fit for you, then that's awesome and amazing. I am here to share. And what you do with it is your business. My business is having the courage to share the information that's coming through me for those of us that need it. And so in saying that, the old way of grounding yourself, like how I was taught originally to ground myself, a lot of healers will use the technique of imagine your spine, connects into the earth and it digs down into the center of the earth, and you're utilizing the Mother Earth's grounded nature. And when I started to when I was doing this work about, 3-5 years ago, I don't know how long ago this was when I was awakening the feminine. The godsource said to me, I guess it was probably the Mother Earth actually that said it to me first, don't do that. That's grapey to the Mother Earth. It's forceful of, your space into her space. And the godsource said that that's the toxic masculine way of grounding. And it said, much better off if you were going to do that, you would want to stop at the earth plane, and then you would want to ask the Mother Earth, can I ground into you? And the Mother Earth loves you. She's her child, so she's in most cases probably going to say yes, but it's still consensual to ask. And so you would want to ask. And it was kind of showing me the old way of grounding was based off toxic dynamics. And if you're working in a toxic dynamic, in that time period, everything is dynamical. Everything was working in between people, which makes it a dynamic. That's what dynamics are, between people. And a toxic dynamic is an imbalanced connection between people. It's usually codependent and based off trying to get needs from the other instead of tending to your own self first. And the godsource was kind of showing me that connecting into the earth and sort of stealing her grounding is very immature of the human species. It said it's almost like a baby suckling on the mother and being like, feed me, give me your energy, ground me. It's almost like that. That's how the imagery was that it showed it to me. And it said, and eventually that baby doesn't just suck for the rest of their life. Eventually that baby has to learn to, independently eat its own food. And it said that humans need to learn to independently ground to our own energies. And the old way of grounding is more parasitical. And the slavery matrix is based off parasitical existing. And like parasites is what I'm saying. And a healthy relationship isn't parasitical. A healthy relationship depends on your own frequency first. So what the God source was suggesting to me at that point in time is that we ground down to our own feet, and that we utilize our connection with the God source and our own bodies to implement the frequencies that we need in our feet for ourselves, that are specific for us and for our needs. And so when you implement that into your feet, then when you ground into your feet, it's exactly the frequencies that you need, versus when you parasitically ground yourself into the Mother Earth, you're using her frequencies, which aren't necessarily the right frequencies for you. And so the God source said, better, Lisa, to ground down into your own feet. And when you ground down on the inside of your feet, what we were taught was to ground through the bottom of our feet and into the Mother Earth. And what it was teaching me is to ground down into the inside of your feet, where you have the frequencies that you need. And that when you're able to ground down into that space, from that point of groundedness, like when your body receives what it needs, the calm, the peace, the presence, the healing codes that your higher self implements into your own feet, then you are that part of your feet, when you ground down there, feet connect to all parts of the body. So people that do the pressure points on the feet, it's called something, but I can't recall what it's called right now. They literally push the points on the feet, and the feet are connected to the rest of the body. And it's the same thing. So when you ground to your feet, you're grounding to down into the rest of your body. You're bringing to the rest of your body what the rest of your body needs. So it also was saying to me that if humans weren't on the earth plane, say you were in an airplane and you couldn't ground to the earth, you can ground down to your feet, right? Or say you were in a spaceship or something like that, which is potentials into the future, then you can ground to your feet in that space. You have the grounding. The grounding moves with you. It's something that you always have access to. And that's something else that it's shown me over time, is that the old ways were kind of to use these old like soothers. And the soother was you waiting for your partner to stop something, or you having to utilize the Mother Earth's energy, or you waiting for something in the external realm to stop. That's using the soother versus your own thumb. And your thumb is connected to your body. You always have that. You always have access to that. And first and foremost, that's the love inside your own heart. That's accessing the love that you have within. When you give yourself love, you give yourself safety, and that leads to that sense of peace. And that's inside of you. That medicine is inside of you. It's infinite. You can access it all the time and from everywhere. And there's not someone around you that has to do it for you. You do it for yourself. And it's the same thing with grounding to your feet. You do it for yourself. Now, once we regulate and we get those healing codes and we ground to our own feet, which we can do anywhere, then you can share frequencies with the Mother Earth. So you're not just taking hers and using hers, you're sharing the energy. And the key is the sharing. And it's actually responsible sharing of energy, because if I come just suffering and I root into the earth and I push my roots down into her and everything else, then I'm actually sharing the dysregulated energy with her and expecting her to caretake me, right? But if I actually do the work of regulating my own self first and rooting to, or grounding to the insides of my own feet, then I'm doing my part of the work, and then I'm sharing regulated energy with the Mother Earth, which is a more respectful way of existing. And it's the feminine coming first. It's the compassion and the love and the regulation coming before the action. So okay. I also want to mention in here that the old way of bringing light into the human being, like what they used to teach in energy work and what I learned like in the beginning was that, this light comes down from above your head and you pull this light down into you, and then the light comes down, and that's how you get this light. And the God source also said to me, that's also a parasitical way of receiving light. And it's an old way, it's a codependent way. And that light that you're bringing in through the top of your head actually isn't your light. In most cases, it's like the Mother Earth's or the plants and the animals' lights. It's not actually your light. So how it kind of showed it to me is it was like The Matrix, but it was a TV show. It was a movie about, and I can't remember her name right now. If it comes to me, I'll mention it. But she gets into this oneness space, and she's seeing all these codes come down. There's all these codes, and all these codes are coming down. And those codes that they're seeing, those are the Mother Earth's codes, right? Those aren't your codes. They don't have your name on them. They're the Mother Earth's codes. And so where do we actually get the light from? How do you channel the light through you? It literally goes through you. It goes in your heart center. It comes through that internal sun that you have inside of you, which is your own light source. Every living being has their own light source, and that's your own light source. And what happens when you light that source up, it creates a pillar of light within your body. And the pillar of light goes up and down from that light source. So it doesn't come down in from something external to yourself. That's a false mode of functioning. That's an old way of existing. That's, I believe, part of the slavery matrix. What happens is you light up that internal sun and it beams up and out of you. So yeah, you have a light that beams through you. That's your own light. That light has your name on it. That's your light to use. And so when we pull the light into us through our heads, and this is a teaching it gave me about 8 years ago, it's got other people's names on it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have your name on it. And then what happens is it comes down through your head first. And it's not meant to come down through the head, because the head's gonna say like, oh, I need the mansion. I need that car. It's going to go through our programming first. And so by the time it comes into the heart center and you're going to do your manifesting from your heart center, you're going to be manifesting from the program instead of from the alignment with the universe. And the alignment of the universe starts at the heart center. So that's something that we feel in the heart center first. And that's something that we access through the center of ourselves. It literally starts in the feminine first. So it starts at the heart and then goes out from that space like a sun, literally like a sun, right? So is there anything else that I can share about this? I guess I could share a little bit about manifesting in that way. So like recently I was trying to manifest like a new house. And as I was trying to manifest the house, like I've been trying to sell my house for like 8 months straight, and it's not selling. It wasn't selling. And I was starting to feel very helpless and hopeless, and like I was failing. I was feeling humbled. And I thought, oh, I guess I don't have those manifestation skills to be able to create this thing. And when I was feeling that way, it was making me like shrink down into myself. I was feeling like sad and a little bit of betrayed by myself and betrayed by the universe. And I did a lot of work on those betrayal spaces. And that's something the God source was also telling me at that time period, that it's not going to alter the external realm for your sake, because it's all parts of the universe. So it's all timelines. The God source is all timelines. So it's not just going to alter itself. You're going to alter it with your own frequency. So, I mean, that's a really cool piece of information I can throw in here too, that it was telling me that if you know anything about the double slit experiment, what they say is that when they observed it, it turned into a particle. But when it wasn't observed, it was a wave. And what the God source was telling me about that is wave is the infinite potential. It's anything that can unfold, anything that can happen, right? And the particle is the form. It's when it becomes form. It's like a choice made, right? And the God source was telling me that we are the particle. The human being is the particle, and how you exist collapses the wave in front of you. And the wave doesn't collapse until your particle touches the wave. And the wave is in the future, and the future is infinite, right? There's infinite potential, but how you exist affects what unfolds in front of you. So it's about how you exist. So the more debris you have out of your body, the more you're following your own soul, the more that you're talking to yourself in good ways, the more likely that you're going to manifest a future in alignment with that frequency. Now, it gets pretty complex there because there's 7.8 billion humans and animals and plants and mineral kingdoms all on this plane, and the Mother Earth herself, right? So what can unfold is based off of, it kind of showed me like a five fingers, right? So if these are the low timelines and these are the highest timelines that people are creating in front of them, we're going to get the middle timeline. So the higher we can create, the higher timeline this middle one's going to be. So it depends on the collective, sort of the collective energies, what we can create. And right now, because we're in this part of space that's bringing in some foreign particles and higher frequency energy, without us having to all shift at once, it's pulling us into the shift because we have the atmosphere, or our environment, is allowing us to create more than we ever have before, which is why it's so important that we're consciously creating in this time period. So, all right. So what was I going to speak about in regards to this? I go off track and then I come back on track. I grab the string again. I go off track. I come back on track. Yes, so the manifestation. So when I was feeling like I had failed, it was making me kind of like curled up, and I thought to myself, wait a minute, I know of 2 people specifically that are manifesting mansions. They have like 4 mansions, and I'm thinking, man, if they can create a mansion, I can create a mansion. And as soon as I had that thought, I realized, oh my goodness, I'm hitting a glass ceiling. This is a glass ceiling. This isn't actually real. I just need to bust through it. So I literally could see myself like unfurl, and I busted through the glass ceiling. And once I busted through the glass ceiling, I saw this image of like an X shape, almost like 2 swords going through my back heart. And as soon as I saw this X shape going through my back heart, I thought, what the God source said to me is, you have to root your back heart into this universe, or into the God source space, right? And I was like, oh, that's why it's white light, because the God source light is this pure white light. And so it was like, you need to root yourself, what you receive, into the God source space. And the God source space is actually an unlimited space. It's an unlimited existence. And so far, I was rooting into this universe, and this universe is limited. So I'm rooting into what's limited, okay? And I need to root into what's unlimited if I want to create all kinds of magical things in front of me, right? However, when I'm creating from the light above, and it's going through my head first, so my head is going through the old ways of existing and the slavery matrix, my head might be like, oh, if like I want to create a mansion or something like that. But like I talked about in my prior videos, mansions and money and cars and purses and name brands, a lot of that's actually connected to the darkness. that's old ways of getting power, right? And so the gods were said to me, but Lisa, is a mansion in alignment with nature? And in this time period, no, because you're actually having to use more than you need from nature to create a mansion, right? And if all of us have mansions, the planet isn't going to function well unless we start creating mansions a different way. But using, wood and things like that, these are limited resources of the Mother Earth. We'd also have to ask the wood, does it want to be used, and things like that. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Probably not. A mansion probably isn't in alignment with nature, because I don't want to rob from nature to get my creations. It has to be in alignment. So it has to go through the back heart into that center heart. And that center heart is the part of you that's connected to all. And so when I get to that point, I'm like, yeah, no, probably not. So like manifesting a mansion is something of the old way. And the godsource says to me, because it goes through my center heart, it's not even about, like, why would you want the mansion, Lisa? And I'm like, I guess because it would, give me joy or happiness or playfulness or safety, security. I'm just spitting everywhere. Security. Oh, that's interesting when I said that word. Right. So security would be one of the reasons why I would be trying to create that, right? And the God source says, well, security doesn't come from a mansion. Like, that's literally, you have to clean more, you have to pay more bills, it's like a bunch of space you don't use, I don't think that that's like even true, number one. But number two, it was like, you don't have to have a mansion to create that, to create those feeling states. You can create those feeling states right now. You can just give yourself the permission to feel those things without needing stuff in the external realm. That's the trap. That's the lie. That's the long way round. I don't have to do that. I can actually just give it to myself right now. And then when I begin to give it to myself right now, because I'm the particle, I'm already in the feeling state of joy, happiness, peace, stability, love. And because I'm already in that state, what I'm actually going to collapse, the timelines are going to collapse into more of that in front of me, because that's what I'm feeling inside today. And so that's what it was showing me about the way that we're going to do this into the future, and the importance of being in alignment with our future creations, and thinking about the plants, animals, air, earth, water, and like, am I parasitically stealing from them so that I can feel better? Or am I just feeling better now and then getting into an alignment with them when I do my creations? And that's the feminine coming first. So, a lot of information packed into 23 minutes of information there, but it's a lot. And I'm just going to clear the old programs, belief systems, modes of functioning, ways of existing. I'm going to do a release. And like I said before, this is what I'm being taught. And so you can take from it what you will and do it your own way. Try these ways and see what you think. And if you want to do it the other way, you can do it any way that you want to. I'm not here to tell you the way to do it. I'm here to share information that I'm receiving for those of us that need it the most. And so I just, Source God Mother, I acknowledge and accept everything that we're speaking of so far today. And that Lisa's talking about things that nobody else is talking about at this time period. Maybe somebody is, but nobody I've been seeing talking about this. And it's what the God source calls a more mature way of existing, as in we're no longer in that baby stage of humanity. We're starting to come into this aligned, conscious, feminine first way of existing. And in that mode of functioning, we're being asked to be more responsible with where we're taking energy from, and with our own energies as a totality, and tending to our own energies first, and utilizing our own bodies and our own connections to the God source to calm, soothe, regulate, cleanse our energetic systems, and getting confident and comfortable in grounding to our feet, to the insides of our feet, and then sharing frequencies with the Mother Earth. And that's a mode of functioning that we're being introduced to, and I open up to those introductions if they're in my best and highest well-being. I also acknowledge and accept that Lisa's talking about a way of, like, the old way is to pull light in from above us, and that the new way is by initiating that internal sun, initiating the heart space, our sacred heart inside of us, and that triple heart system, the back heart being the receiving heart, the middle heart being the high heart or the sacred heart, and which is our heart that's connected to everything all at once, to the God source, but also to nature and to our bodies. And then the front heart being our action heart. And that when we begin to shine that light through us, we can connect into the God source space through our back heart. Where do you want to receive from? You want to receive from the God source space because there's infinite potential available there. There's infinite light. There's infinite things that haven't been created in that space. And if we receive it through the heart, then it'll already be in alignment, in alignment with our own existences, but also in alignment with this universe, in alignment with nature, with our buddies, with our friends, with the rest of the human collective. And I want that, and I choose that. Please help us with that. And I forgive myself if I was doing it the old way. We didn't know any different. We didn't know any better. We're constantly learning. And I am open to learning and trying and clearing those old modes of functioning and those old ways of existing, which were created within the slavery matrix, and in the toxic masculine and in the toxic patriarchy. And that I clear all of that, including all the times that, I didn't ask the Mother Earth for consent, or I stole that energy or those codes of the other beings. I didn't even know I was doing it. Sorry. I don't want to take part in parasitical existing. I want to take part in conscious aligned ways of existing. And I choose that as I move forward, including consciously aligned manifesting, and manifesting from the heart and the feeling states. Like, once we begin to access the feeling states, you start to realize, I never needed that thing in the first place. And this is where we're going to access that top side of the rainbow that we don't even know it's up there, that we can create. We've never even created it before. It's going to be brand new, coming in from the presence of the now, as we hold a sacred heart, as we hold love and peace and presence inside of ourselves. Creative ideas are going to be coming in that we didn't even know existed. And so when we hold the no, then we begin to discover the yeses, and the yeses are what are already in alignment. And that sounds so magical, like so amazing, so awesome. Yes, I want that. I want to be part of that. And so I clear, cleanse, and heal all mindsets, modes of functioning, ways of existing, trigger points, toxic dynamics within and toxic dynamics without, frozen pain spaces, shame, guilt, pain, suffering. Like, we don't have to feel those things. We're humans that are always learning, and we're growing and we're maturing. And this is a time period of maturation. Like, if you think of the human beings, we've only been here a small amount of time compared to the dinosaurs, is like the whole car's length compared to this amount, right? Like, we're literally babies in time span. In this universe. And so we can forgive where we've come, and we can begin to just clear that out of our debris cup so that we don't have to clear it again. So we clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now. Contracts, binds, barriers, modes of functioning, ways of existing from our mind, body, spirits, and souls, and from our cellular and energetic structures. Pass the DNA and RNA and into the God space of first creation, releasing, clearing, cleansing, and healing the old DNA and RNA, disintegrating it back to dust, so that we can initiate the new and reconfigure the new for each unique blueprint. We welcome those collective healers, we Clear, cleanse, and heal all drama, karma, trauma. Pull out the dharma, neutralize, purify, clear, cleanse, and heal from the cellular, energetic, and magnetic structures, and from the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious minds, pulling all of that through to oneness, to wholeness, to peace, to truth, to love. Welcoming those helper frequencies and those helper beings into these spaces to continue to help us to clear these spaces and to continue to help us to access these spaces and utilize these spaces as we move forward in good ways. I release through the children and up through the ancestral webs, past lifetimes and their webs, and for the collective universal who are open to it at this time, including all planetary systems and on all sides of the veil, and in this universe and in the multiverses. I also just want to throw in that I oftentimes talk about rooting down from our root chakra. That's why they call it a root chakra. It's like we're like a plant. We're meant to root down, and we root down into our earth star. So we didn't used to do this in the past, but what the God source was showing me is that when we use the root chakra, like we have energy that comes down like a tree, and we root through our own earth star. So I'm not going through the Mother Earth. Every human being, as part of a chakra system, has an earth star. And it told me like we call it an earth star because we're born on earth, but it's not actually an earth star. It's a universal star. It's how we root into this universe. Right? And when I put my roots down in through that star, I root out and into this universe. And the universe, I'm not connecting into anything specifically except for the universe as a totality. I'm putting my roots down so that I can receive nourishment from the universe. And the nourishment that we're receiving from the universe is life force frequency, healing codes, love from the plant kingdom, animal kingdoms, mineral kingdoms, from the planetary kingdoms, it's us rooting into the form realm, into this universe, our form body, our cell, into all the cells. And that's how we begin to receive that. And that's an initiation that we work our way up to as we really root down into the human body, as we really ground down into our feet, as we come down, 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 we begin to access that. And that's the feminine way of connecting. So the feminine way of connecting is to root down through that earth star. And we also have a soul star above us. And so the masculine way of connecting would be connecting that light, that pillar of light that I said goes up and down from our center of self. We would be connecting that pillar of light up and through the soul star to our other aspects of our soul self. So our monad or our higher self and things like that. And we're actually pretty good at that. That's actually the masculine way that we've been doing it. But what we haven't been doing is rooting down through the feminine universal star. And so if none of this makes any sense to you, don't worry about that. I'm just going to clear, cleanse, and heal those old modes of functioning and ways of existing from our mind, body, spirits, and souls as well. And we're just going to update those modes of functioning and those ways of existing, and just clearing the old programs from our mind, body, spirits, and souls. So, but you're going to hear me talk about that when I do the cleansings. And so we might as well just clear that space and allow for us to access that in a good way. So, I quantum forgive that we didn't know any different or any better until we do. I quantum forgive that we, just kind of were taking other people's light codes and taking other beings' frequencies and, non-consensual ways of existing. And we didn't know we were doing that. And so, sorry, we apologize. And we forgive the human collective, and we forgive that we were taught the old way. We forgive that we haven't done it for as long as we did, and that we bypassed the human body and our own power of, programming our own cell structure. And we clear all of that. We clear it, and clear it some more. We forgive it. We clear it, clear it. We purify, which means returning to the origins, which I would have talked about in a prior video as well. I think it was my last video, actually, right? We purify back to the origins. And we clear, cleanse, and heal that now, welcoming those collective healed helpers, those beings of light, those doctors, healers, and nurses in all realms of existence to continue to purify and alchemize these spaces and drop us into those original blueprints, those original codes, and to continue these healings until completed. And I use those doctors, healers, and nurses because that's their purpose, is to continue to help those that are calling out for help, to help us, clear our bodies, heal our bodies. Like, they know how to clear away energies, energetic beings, toxic beings, dark beings. That's their job. So we're just going to use our free will to call them in and give it over to them to do, because they know what they're doing. And we give so much gratitude and thankfulness to the helper beings and helper frequencies that are here with us, helping us, loving us, that are, nudging us, holding loving space for us, reminding us when we need it the most. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The elements, the elementals, the angels, the ancestors, the people who came before. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you so much. And we know that we're doing a dual purpose here, because our purpose is to shift the form realm and to get into oneness and to heal the ancestral lineages and all those things. And it's their purpose to help us. And they want to. We just have to ask them, because this is a free will existence. You have to ask for the assistance. They can't just come down and start plucking, like the godsource can't just start plucking. You have to ask for the help and the assistance. That's why prayers are so important. And that's why I cleanse our body, spirits, and souls this way. So I clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now through all quantum fields, and I'm opening to receive for best and highest well-being. With love and gratitude, I choose this. So I choose this and breathe. Remember too, a good etheric breath. So just intending, pulling that energy from the ethers. The unused energy that has not been utilized yet. Yeah, we might as well pull that pure, clean energy in and utilize it. And Source God Mother, we ask that you immediately evolute our systems for best and highest well-being, the systems within us and the systems around us, including those frequencies of our feet, so that as you upgrade those frequencies of our feet, as we ground down to the insides of our feet, we have all the frequency codes we need, the love, peace, presence, healing codes that we need. We also ask that you really root us down into that earth star, into that universal star, and into this universe and into the multiverses, so that we're exchanging, sharing that life force frequency, that energy, wisdom, knowledge codes, and that we fractalize those healings throughout our mind, body, spirits, and souls. The feminine way is sharing. That's why I do a lot of work on encouraging the sharing, us being responsible for ourselves, and then sharing the frequencies. The toxic masculine way is to hoard, to grab, to use it all for yourself, take it, be at the top of the hierarchy and dominate, force. And the sacred feminine way is to share, because we're the sacred mother, we're the children of all, right? The sacred mother is the mother of all. We are her children, and she wants us to share amongst the children, and that includes the plants, animals, air, earth, water, elementals, elements, etc. And so I clear, cleanse, and heal all of that now through all quantum fields, and I'm opening to receive for best and highest well-being. With love and gratitude, I choose this. So I choose this and breathe. I'm just moving my arm around there. And as always, just noticing, how do you feel right now? If you feel sort of dizzy or lightheaded, just grounding to your feet. Source God Mother, please ground me to my feet. Higher self, universe, whatever you want to call it, creator. Ground me to my feet, to the insides of my feet. And just breathe. And like I said before, some people might yawn, some people might feel tired as I'm doing the release and then wake up out of it because they're human stepping to the side so that their soul can get the healings. And the soul already knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking soul to soul here. I'm remembering information that's ancient and sacred. And just drink lots of water. If you rest, usually, the fatigue feeling will go away. Some people feel very energized by the work. Whatever you feel is your own way of doing healings and energy work. And it's good for you to know too, because then is this working? Because a lot of people say to me that's impossible. This is too easy. This isn't easy. This isn't easy at all. It actually takes a lot of willpower to, number one, hold this space. I know a lot of people can't hold this space, and that's okay if you can't. It just speaks about where you are on your journey and the information, knowledge, and wisdom that you need from where you're at. And it takes a lot of time and energy to slow down and receive this information. I'm sharing years of information with you guys that I've processed and that I've worked with other people on. And yeah, it's not easy receiving this information. I totally get it. And but really huge pats on the back. This is sacred work. Shifting your own cell for the God source's sake is sacred work. And shifting the way we exist for this planet is sacred work. And for your ancestral lineages and for your children whom I know you love, or your other loved ones, or for your dogs, for your pets, you know, which are a lot of people's family, like, because they're unconditionally loving, and it's our first experience of being unconditionally loved. And so we're willing to make the hard changes and listening to the hard information to help our loved ones. And so huge pats on the back, guys. Way to go, guys and gals. I say guys because that's something from the 80s that we were taught. It's probably slightly patriarchal, toxic patriarchal, misogynistic, but I don't mean it that way when I use the words. I just mean like all of us at once. So maybe I could use something different, like family or something like that. I'll try to shift that, but I'm also going to forgive myself for that. I'm just going to clear that from our mind, body, spirits, and souls. Yeah, I hope that information was received well. Please share what you took from this. Please share that if you practice this, what did you notice? Please share about what you would like to hear more about. Please share your own stories for others to also grow from, and information that you've pulled in. That would be amazing and awesome. Please feel free to share that below. And please share this video with other people that you think could benefit from it. And I just send you all so much love, and I will see you next time. And I hope you have a beautiful day, night, evening, wherever you are and whatever you're inside of at the time of watching this video. So lots of love from me to you, and may we all find the peace that we're looking for. Lots of love. Bye.